Hi there everyone, and welcome back to Dungeon Fog once again. In this video, we are going to be looking at how to make multi-level maps for your dungeons and adventures. In order to find this feature, we're going to head down to our Levels and Layers tab right down here. So we would click this multi-leveled icon. Now we've already done a little bit of work in this section already under the Layers tab, and here you can see our content, rooms, and brushes. This was all highlighted in my advanced props editing video, so if you're wondering a little bit more about how the Layers section works, I highly recommend you go and check out that video where I touch base on this a little bit more. What we're going to be focusing on for this video is actually going to be the Levels tab. So right over here when we click Levels, one of the first features that we notice is the Allow Ghosting for Levels Above. This is useful if you're creating multi-level maps where you need to keep the shape consistent from level to level. So if you allow ghosting for levels above, as you can see, the ground level is currently selected, shaded over in gray. If I were to allow ghosting for levels above, the second floor and rooftops become visible. Now, because Dungeon Fog is superimposing levels on top of each other, we actually only get to see the rooftop level because the second floor is being ghosted by the rooftop level. So essentially it's just levels upon levels being superimposed on top of each other, with the highest level being visible if you allow for ghosting. If we went to the second floor, just by clicking on the second floor, we can see the second floor level with the rooftops being shaded just over top. If you deselect that, then you can go back to your normal view. We can also choose to hide specific levels by clicking on the Show or Reveal icon. If we're looking to create a new level above our currently selected level, so again, we are selected currently on the ground floor. If we wanted to create a level above the ground floor, we would simply click this icon here with the arrow pointing up. That places a new level with the stage visible on top of the level we were previously at, and now we are on the new level that we just created. Here we can change it to third floor, or whatever name we want to call it, pressing enter to make the save change. If we wanted to see the previous level underneath this, we would simply deselect Show Stage, and then that reveals the stage underneath, so that we can trace lines and walls over top of a pre-existing stage level to make it that much easier to trace out rooms as we need to. So as you can see, I'm simply just going over top of my previously existing rooms so that I can keep building on top of my previous level. If you wanted to create a floor underneath the current level, we'll jump back down to our ground level, and we'll simply click this icon here with the arrow pointing down, and that brings us to a level underneath. In which case we would click on the Show Stage if we wanted to get rid of that, and then we can see the stage and begin to build over top of it. If we want to delete a level, we simply click on the dustbin over here, we click that, and it gets rid of that level. You can also reposition levels as well. Much like we could with assets on the Layers tab, we can actually reposition levels as well. When you bring up your crosshair over here, simply by hovering over where these lines are, we can then press and hold our mouse button to tag that level and then begin to reposition it, changing the order in which this level will appear throughout the map. Now this is great if you accidentally create a level above or below and you wanted to just simply reposition it. Maybe something just came to mind at the last second and you're like, oh, this would be great if I put this here. You can create a new level without having to jump around to different stages to put it in the right order. You can simply just drag and drop it into the order where you want it to go. I have received a couple of questions and comments in some of my videos about how I keep jumping around multi-levels so easily. And as you can see, I'm just cycling through all of my levels currently right now. I am doing so with the page up to go up a level and page down to go down a level. In the select tool, you'll notice that there is a level for underground. We'll jump down to our larder for just a second, and you can see that I have this selected. Well, how the underground tab works is more so in the play area. All underground does is just changes how the Fog of War will interact with the level that you're on. So either you're going to see black texture or the stage texture whenever you're cycling through the Fog of War map. Again, you'll see more about how this works whenever I actually jump into the play section, and I'll expand upon this feature a little bit more. For a quick list of handy-dandy shortcuts, what you're going to want to do is actually click on the question mark in a circle. When you click on that, this brings up a quick reference list of all the different shortcuts that you can use throughout Dungeon Fog and the editor to help you make your maps a little bit quicker. As you can see, the page up and page down features for moving up and down a level, different number keys for different tools and selections that you can make, and Control Z and Control Y are particularly helpful. If you want to redo something that you accidentally undid, you can just simply press Control Y and that would bring that change back in, or you can press Control Z to quickly undo. Or if you wanted to quick save a map, you can also just hit the S button and that will save your map. As you can see, the loading icon is popping up here, populating a preview image eventually when that circle stops. Perfect. There's the check mark there. So now a new preview of my map has been saved. It won't default to this level. It will always default the preview image to the top level of your map. So just be aware of what your top level is over here. So for me, for the rooftops, every time I select my tutorial map, it's actually going to default to the highest level, which is just my roofs. So there you have it, folks. A very, very quick rundown of how to make multi-level maps for your dungeons and adventures. Of course, as always, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section below and I will get back to them as soon as possible. And I will see you all in the next video.